G'day. I've just driven more than 4,000 kilometres with my family to the gorgeous Kakadu National Park. We are in the magnificent Goonlom region at the moment, so come on as we check it out. Kakadu National Park, a land of unique cultural significance and exceptional biodiversity, covering around 20,000 square kilometres. This prehistoric land is home to more than 120 reptile species, 300 fish species and 10,000 insect species. People from all over the globe visit this World Heritage listed park every year to take in the sights and experience its natural wonders for themselves. Kakadu is divided into 7 distinct regions: South Alligator, Jabiru, East Alligator, Norlangi, Yellow Water, Jim Jim Falls and Twin Falls, and Mary River. Road-weary travellers might rejoice at the prospect of being so close to Goonlom, our first destination along the Kakadu Highway. After all, it's only 6 kilometres from the park's southern entrance to the turnoff. But like most places worth visiting in Kakadu, the turnoff marks the beginning of terrain that'll make you work for the paradise promised at the end. The track into this oasis is a rough ride with washboard corrugations that shook our Pajero until it seemed the dash would break apart. Dropping the pressure in the tyres will help smooth out the ride, but staying safe and driving to the conditions is paramount. Accidents are commonplace on these roads for inexperienced drivers. After bouncing in our seats for 37 kilometres, we arrived at the Goonlom campground, a dust bowl in the dry. But don't let appearances deceive you. To one side of the campground is the clearly marked entrance to the Murral Billabong Walk, a 1 kilometre return hike along a well-stomped trail. It's an easy walk for people of reasonable fitness. However, in the dry season, the Billabong recedes from the path and is obscured behind ghost gums, river pandanus and freshwater mangroves. There's no picnic table or any other facility at the end of the walk, so be prepared to rest on a log or your laurels before hiking back. Needless to say, it's best practice to bring plenty of sunscreen, a hat and a bottle of water to make this journey safe. The highlight of the Goonlom region is its hidden plunge pool resting at the bottom of the Goonlom Falls. This is the kind of site reserved for postcards and Saturday afternoon travel shows. There's a wide, long shallow section of water where the sandy bottom is visible. Should any brown logs start moving, you'll see them hopefully in time to get out. Most of the popular swimming holes are croc-managed zones, meaning rangers set traps for salties and move them away if caught. Remember to use common sense before going in the water. Official policy is that visitors swim at their own risk. However, the authorities only recommend you swim at the Jabiru swimming pool. After you cool down, the best way to see the entire region is from the top of the waterfall. Goonlom Lookout Walk is a steep 20-minute walk, but it's very achievable with plenty of footholds and rocks on which to rest on your way up. The rocky plateau at the top provides a sweeping view of the Bullajane country, and a short walk further brings you to the Waterfall Creek at the top of the plunge pool's cliff. The series of rock pools cascade from one to the other. Venturing to the edge of the cliff is for the brave and the adventurous, but due to the fact I was with my boy, not to mention my crippling fear of heights, we stayed back in a rock pool 50 metres from the edge. Regardless, this place is heaven on a very big stick. As you can see, Kakadu was calling, but we needed to find a van that would be comfortable for my wife and I, our 2 young kids, and one that would sit nicely behind our Pajero tow vehicle. The Corrimal F616 shower van fit the bill nicely. So we've been on the road now for the last couple of weeks, just me, my wife and my 2 kids, and I have to say, the Corrimal is really quite comfortable. Like with any caravan, of course, space is limited. The good news is the Corrimal has lots of storage areas to help keep you organised. A couple of wardrobes either side of the bed, some lockers above, lots of other storage nooks and crannies too. And here's the best bit, this fantastic storage space under the bed. The kitchen is quite basic, but we now know from experience that it works quite well. You can cook and clean here with a couple of kids running about really quite easily. Some of the features include a standard microwave, a 4-burner cooktop and griller, a good spread of general storage, and this Dometic AES refrigerator. What does AES mean? Well, it means that the fridge will automatically select from the best power source, whether that's 12 volt, 240 volt or gas. We're in Kakadu at the moment, no 240 volt around at all, so we're running it on gas. Here's the combination shower and toilet in the forward offside corner. 4 points to Corrimal for actually being able to fit a bathroom into what is a relatively compact caravan. We found having a bathroom on board really useful, especially since we've got kids along for the tour. Right up the front of the van, you've got a couple of fantastic bunks. Our 5-year-old loves climbing in and out of the top bunk of an evening, while this temporary guardrail that we fixed keeps our toddler nice and safe while she's asleep. There's a bit of versatility on offer in this caravan. If you don't have kids, it works really well as a couples tourer. This top bunk easily folds away against the back wall. The bottom bunk becomes a nice lounge for two. And there you have it, a comfortable lounge for two. Maguk is the next step along the highway. Hidden and peaceful, its falls and swimming hole are more than worth the effort. Like all of the secluded sanctuaries at Kakadu, getting there is half the adventure, with corrugated roads that will shake the fillings from your teeth. But at least this road is only 9 kilometres. As with Goonlom, be very careful and keep your speed at walking pace if towing your van in. We'd been told the pool at the base of the falls of Maguk, also known as Barramundi Gorge, was the warmest in the Northern Territory. As we all got in the water, we quickly discovered that it's definitely not the warmest plunge pool in the Northern Territory. Notwithstanding the cool water, Maguk is an amazing attraction, more than worth the walk. The almost orange gorge walls and the blue sky above, the green foliage, and a body of water as beautiful as it is wide and deep conspire to awake from within something primal and spiritual, a feeling that lingers beyond a day visit. Kakadu, a simultaneously brown and green landscape during the dry, doesn't give up its beauty easily. The Kakadu Highway connects the Stewart Highway to Jabiru, the residential heart of the national park. The highway is an artery, red trails branching eastwards to gorges and waterways that ebb and flow with the seasons. These are Kakadu's natural attractions, but they are also its extremities. Jim Jim Falls Road, around 50 kilometres south of Jabiru, runs from the Kakadu Highway to the Jim Jim Falls car park. The final 10 kilometres is a strictly four-wheel drive only track. The walk to the Jim Jim Falls swimming hole involves scrambling over lots of grey boulders. If you have particular mobility issues, this is not the walk for you, but there are plenty of rocky plateaus along the way that make good rest stops, so people of varying ages and fitness will make the journey. Once arrived, you quickly discover that this swimming hole is yet another oasis in this rugged, prehistoric landscape. You are treated to a large beach area with pure white sand near the base of the 200-metre gorge with fresh water shimmering in the sun, surrounded by lush vegetation, massive boulders and gorge walls that appeared to have been built layer upon layer in orange stone by a giant hand. To see these falls at their roaring best, inquire about a chopper ride at the Bawali Visitor Centre. All caravanners should seriously consider getting themselves a good solar setup. Here we have a 120 watt unit from Kamek. It has a 10 amp maximum solar input and can plug straight into your Anderson plug. Otherwise, straight to the battery. Sometimes you just need the convenience of 240 volt power. Trouble is, it's not available everywhere. That's where a generator such as this Honda EU20i comes into its own.
It sips fuel and it's easy to fire up.
Kakadu National Park is home to a vast network of waterways. They are the park's lifeblood, the reason for its stunning wildlife. They sustain and nurture Kakadu and keep the visitors coming, year after year. Forming part of the large South Alligator River floodplain, the World Heritage listed Yellow Water wetland is among the most beautiful and expansive on offer. Yellow Water is northwest off the Kakadu Highway, 50 kilometres south of the Bawali Visitor Centre. Make sure you get a ticket to a sunset boat cruise, the best way to take in Yellow Water and its abundant wildlife. Along the journey, the skipper will provide informative and entertaining commentary, pointing to all the estuarine crocs as they lay about on the muddy banks. As the skipper pointed out though, it's more than a croc cruise. We saw jabiroos and a white-bellied sea eagle, among others. There's more to Kakadu than waterfalls and wetlands, bushwalks and billabongs. Rock art plays an important role in the significance of the national park. It provides visible and intriguing links to the culture and history of the land's traditional owners, reminding us of a different way of life that existed for thousands of years before European settlement. There are numerous places throughout the park where visitors can admire Aboriginal rock art, but the three main locations are Ubir, Mangalawar and Norlangi. The art trail around Norlangi Rock is well defined and not too strenuous. It's a 1.5 kilometre circular walking track from the car park that takes about an hour. The detour to the top of the nearby lookout is well worth the effort. It provides a sweeping view of the Arnhem Land Escarpment, and on a clear day, you will see 3 tall pillars seemingly carved out of its edge. This is said to be the home of the Lightning Man, a sacred and dangerous place. We drove deeper into Kakadu, leaving Jim Jim Falls behind for the highlight of the East Alligator region, Ubir Rock, the closest you can get to Arnhem Land without a permit. Ubir is home to some of the most culturally significant rock art in Kakadu, if not the whole of Australia. An easy 1 kilometre loop takes visitors to a number of galleries with stunning examples of X-ray rock art, a style that depicts a creature's internal organs and bone structures. The trail is very well marked and the various galleries are fitted with placards that detail the dreaming stories behind each artwork, as well as their cultural importance. The lookout across the Nadab floodplain is open from April to November, 8:30 AM to sunset. The Ubir landscape is markedly different from anywhere else in Kakadu. The colours are different, the sights and smells are different. Even the light, which softly illuminates towering escarpments and paper barks, is somehow different. With its stunning sunsets and rock art, Ubir is not to be missed. Having seen the National Park's main sites along the Kakadu Highway and taken the northern pilgrimage to Ubir, it was time to say goodbye to Kakadu. It had been an experience, and one that will stay with us for a very long time to come.